We have to go to the root. We have to go to the cause. Dealing with the condition itself is not enough.
Dear Mr. Massa, I'm just trying to mind my own business. What's the matter? It's just another day, another black king captured. I'm about to lose my brain, stuck inside this ghetto rapture. I got a lot of smoke. If you want it, you can have it. They want a hat trick, but this is black girl magic. Ain't talking about the kind that'll make you disappear, but I'm talking about the power of the melanin within. Ain't looking for trouble, but I'ma say this one time. I put two dukes up if you try to touch mine. We still want justice for Samir and Trayvon. You say you don't see color, but racism ain't blind. They targeting little kids whose skin look just like mine. So I'm paranoid, it's a war zone outside. And I'm a black queen, so if you ask me to step out of my car, you gon' have to snatch me. Cause I ain't going no damn well. Had to spend my whole life living unfair. Ancestors got my back and they right here. You can never understand, it's a nightmare. Living in my black shoes by the black rules. You can keep your handshake, I don't dap coons. The white man to go nuts if he cash you. But you all on his side like a damn fool. Make it make sense.
We are oppressed.
Queen.
We are exploited. We are downtrodden.
Make it make
We are
sense.
denied not only civil rights, but even human rights.
Ahmadiyyah.
So the only way we're going to get some of this
Ahmadiyyah.
oppression and exploitation
Queen.
away from us or aside from us is come together
Queen.
against the common enemy. Who taught you to hate the texture of your
Ahmadiyyah.
hair? Who taught you to hate the color of your skin?
Ahmadiyyah.
Parents, pay attention to the books, the school system, even to your little children. Lies mixed with wisdom. His skin too bright, so he was blind to the prison. My skin just right, so I collide with division. You trying to pray to God, but we tired of religion. No savior saving, we got to save our savings. We used to pay miss, how we gon' make the slave rich? But who's to blame, and tell me why you complaining? We need a team effort just to rule the nation. Like a bad relationship, missing communication. We missing moderation. They're trying to get a poison to my population. No reparations. I'm getting tired of Satan.
We are oppressed.
Queen.
We are
Getting tired of
exploited.
waiting.
We are downtrodden.
Queen.
We are denied not only civil rights, but even human rights.
Ahmadiyyah.
So the only way we're going to get some of this
Ahmadiyyah.
oppression and exploitation.
Queen.
I'm Kamala Harris, and I grew up in the church. Okay, me and Maya, we went to Oakland Church, and we sang in the choir, just two middle-class little girls, you know. We had a lot of faith, okay, because faith is a verb. Faith is an action. Weeping may come in the night, but joy cometh in the morning. Yeah. Jesus is good. Jesus is great. Jesus is black. Yeshua, I will rule in the name of Jesus. We ain't never going back. I am a black woman, okay? And we lead with faith. It's important. What do you think of that, Dougie?
Yeah, that was great, honey.
Was it black enough?
I don't think I'm qualified to answer that.
I'm gonna try it again.
Okay.
I'm Kamala Harris, and I grew up in the...
Hello, everyone. Thanks for tuning back in once again to the original Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur show. I'm your host, Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur, and this is your Saturday Vitamins. So as you're coming in, please feel free to go ahead and subscribe to the channel. If you haven't done so already, be sure to click that notification bell and click the word all so you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. Okay, so let's get into it. Likes up, everyone. Please like and share. You know it doesn't cost you a single thing. You can do it absolutely for free. And if you're not donating to the channel, well, giving it a like and a share is the next best thing. Okay, so let's get ready to get into it. Now, don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Dr_A_Shakur, TikTok at Dr. A Shakur, and Twitter at DGoddess27. With that all being said, hello, Nicole, Claudette, Just Anticipate, RG Titan, Z is in the house. All right, all hell no, Nicole. All right, Evan is in the house. G from the land, Don Doe, or Don Joe. Okay, AM is here. I see you exact. Okay, so let's get into it. Everybody get those likes up. Shout out to my moderators putting in work. I see you, Songwriter Sunny. All right, Just Anticipate. Overthoughts is in the house. All right, shout out to everyone tuning into the Queen. So let's get this party started. All right, y'all know it's all nefarious. Hold on. Let me pull this up on my phone first and foremost. Okay, so I have a Diddy update for you guys. So Douglas Wigdor, Cassie's attorney, has come out swinging on Diddy and his attorney, Mark Agna Philo. So let's get into it. Thank you, DSB, for your super chat, your super sticker, beloved. Your donation to the channel. I appreciate you. Okay, so here we go. Okay, there it is. Trying to put my chat up on my phone. Okay, so let's get into it. Let's get into it. Get those likes up, beloved. All right, here we go. Now, as you all know, I've been reporting to you how Diddy and his attorneys were trying to put a gag order on everybody, wanting people to be quiet and all of that, and also wanting some of the accusers who are under John or Jane Doe's to be named, okay? Not to be allowed to use pseudonyms. And so the judge did order that one specific victim had to tell who she is. So now Douglas Wigdor has come out swinging because he doesn't like the fact that Diddy's attorneys are trying to silence everybody. He's like, I'm over here minding my own business. And here they go trying to tell everybody to take down anything that was posted online as it pertains to the case. When his case with Cassie and Diddy has already been settled. Okay, so this was filed on November the 1st. So, dear Judge Subramaniam, we write as counsel for two plaintiffs in civil proceedings against defendant Sean Combs in response to Mr. Combs' criminal attorney's request for an order prohibiting extrajudicial statements from prospective witnesses and their attorneys. Okay, because such an order would inappropriately silence victims who are proactively seeking justice through the civil justice system. Now, because defendant Combs' family, and here's the thing, he's saying that his family and their representatives, they themselves have actually engaged in talking about the case, okay, and release extrajudicial statements. And because an order prohibiting attorneys from speaking about their cases would violate the ethical rules governing the practice of law. And so we respectively ask that Mr. Combs' request be denied. You know, because they're basically saying, like, how are they going to try to tell us we can't say anything and we need to take down anything that was posted online when, in fact, his own sons have been coming out talking about the case. They've been going in on people. Okay, let's not forget that they literally tried to jump Ray J. Okay. So anyway, goes on to say, for both legal and moral reasons, silencing victims of assault and abuse and violence is inappropriate. Okay, the grape and incest national network, also known as RAINN, RAINN, citing data from the Department of Justice and Federal Bureau of Investigation, notes that only 310 out of every 1,000 assaults are reported to police, meaning that more than 2 out of 3 assaults are unreported. Now, the two individuals that we represent came forward, okay, well before the federal investigation or the criminal indictment of Mr. Combs became public. Moreover, after our two clients came forward, Mr. Combs and his proxies made numerous comments to the media about their accounts, okay, and about their accusations. Now, to now order our clients to be completely silent about what they experienced would be an effect to their bravery, okay, and it would be an effect to their bravery and would be detrimental to other victims of sexual violence who remain afraid to come forward. I'm sorry, that says would be an affront to their bravery. Now, with that all being said, it goes on to say, it is not clear exactly when Mr. Combs seeks to silence them with his requested relief, but his submission suggests that anyone who claimed to have been a victim of Mr. Combs, regardless of whether their experience is relevant or connected to the criminal case at hand, must be prevented from speaking. Okay, they can't speak out about their allegations. Now, the relief that Mr. Combs seeks, therefore, extends far beyond the known or existing participants in this criminal litigation, and indeed could extend to individuals whose stories may not be relevant to the government's case against Mr. Combs. And so basically saying some of these people don't even have anything to do with it. And so why are they having to be silent? Okay, that's what he's basically saying. Likes up, everyone, please. Don't forget to like and share. Thank you in advance. Now, it goes on to say such a restraint on speech implicates the constitutional rights of victims and their attorneys, and this carries a heavy presumption against its constitutional validity. And then he lists several cases, okay, in reference to that. Then he says, here Mr. Combs seeks an order preventing prospective witnesses and their attorneys from making any statement concerning defendant, and in support cites to a plethora of comments made in various media publications, many of which were made before the grand jury even indicted him. Now, he has not shown with any reasonable certainty that this publicity will prejudice a fair trial. In fact, it is illogical to state that news that occurred before the criminal investigation was even initiated could be restrained by the court. Nothing about his request is narrowly tailored. Okay, indeed, Mr. Combs plainly asked for a blanket prohibition on speech on a large swath of unidentified individuals and attorneys without proposing any less broad prescription or alternative means to ensure a fair trial without restricting the speech of individuals who are not even participants in this litigation. As a result, his request should be denied. Now, the relief Mr. Combs seeks is particularly inappropriate given that his family and representatives have themselves made extrajudicial statements to garner the exact attention that he claims he wants to diminish. For example, last week, the day after Mr. Agnifilo filed his letter, Mr. Combs' sons posted on Instagram that the past month has devastated our family, noting that Mr. Combs has been judged based on accusations, but that the truth will prevail. And on October the 6th of 2024, the defendant's mother, through her lawyer, Natalie G. Figures, Esquire, issued a written statement characterizing the criminal indictment in this matter as a narrative created out of lies and a public lynching, and plainly states that the defendant is not guilty of the crimes that he is accused of, and then suggests that any conviction would fall into an alleged history of wrongful convictions. Now, the defendant's mother commented on her son's civil legal team's actions in one of the civil cases that her son resolved months prior. Combs' argument that the attorneys for alleged victims of Combs' abuse create a circus-like atmosphere, but that his own family's attorney's statements caused no impact. That underscores the disingenuity of the relief sought. Now, I guess Diddy and his attorneys didn't think about that, okay, that they've already been out here running their mouths. And even remember when I told you guys that Mark Agnifilo, in fact, appeared in the documentary about the downfall of Diddy with TMZ. And I said Diddy should be asking himself why the hell his attorneys doing a documentary that's about his downfall. Okay, that just seemed like a bit of a clout chase in my opinion. Now, goes on to say, indeed, Mr. Combs' own attorneys have frequently made extrajudicial comments concerning the case itself. Okay, that is, unlike the comments that he seeks to gag that are potentially unrelated to the criminal investigation or case before your honor, Mr. Agnifilo has proactively called the case a racially motivated prosecution, contending that his client is being targeted because he is a successful Black man. Now, Mr. Agnifilo has also appeared in the tabloid publication TMZ's documentary about this case, playing into the media circus that he claims prejudices his client's ability to receive a fair trial. Honey, this is all backfiring on him because Douglas Wigner, he's hitting them right where it hurts. And this is all interesting because this is something that most people didn't even think about. Okay, that his own people have been running their mouths, including his attorneys. Now, Mr. Combs and his agents' abuse of extrajudicial statements alone undermines the legitimacy of the relief that he now requests and is yet another basis for denying his request for a gag order. Combs seeks not only to silence victims, but also the attorneys who represent the victims. The attorneys who participated in or have participated in the matter are, of course, bound by Rule 3.6 of the Rules of Professional Conduct, which prohibits extrajudicial statements that the attorney knows or reasonably should know will be disseminated by means of public communication and will have a substantial likelihood of materially prejudicing an adjudicative proceeding in the matter. Now, New York Rules of Professional Conduct 3.6a, okay, but the extraordinary relief that Mr. Combs seeks is for attorneys not associated with the criminal case to be similarly prevented from making any statements, presumably including statements concerning those attorneys' active litigations against Mr. Combs in civil cases, and further ask that those attorneys remove information from online postings that fall under his proposed blanket restriction. An order preventing the attorneys for civil plaintiffs in other proceedings from speaking about their representation or their client's litigation would, however, run afoul of victims' attorneys to speak publicly, okay, about an attorney's work, and that is in fact enshrined in the ethics. Okay, and the attorneys themselves may not themselves agree to any provision in any form of agreement. And then goes on to say, I appear to contemplate restrictions on extrajudicial statements from lawyers associated with the prosecution or defense. Okay, and saying this restricts his or her ability to speak publicly about their cases, as doing so would violate Rule of Professional Conduct 5.6, which concerns restrictions on an attorney's ability to practice. As one ethics opinion succinctly states, once the matter is public, a settlement agreement may not impose confidentiality on otherwise public matters without violating DC Rule 5.6b. Now, a lawyer may not propose or agree to such a confidentiality provision. Okay, that opinion further notes that a provision requiring an attorney to remove information about the public case from the firm's website similarly restricted an attorney's ability to practice, as attorneys are always permitted to disclose public information that he or she handled if, for example, a potential client inquired as to that attorney's experience. Indeed, because discussions about an attorney or a firm's experience are part of many firms' effort to attract new clients, and such restrictions would inhibit the ability of lawyers to advertise their services. Okay, honey, he's getting in on this, because at the end of the day, that's a very good point that he's making. If you go on any attorney's website, they always have information about previous cases that they filed, previous clients or cases that they've represented, and details about whether they won or lost. Okay. So he's basically saying they won't be able to market themselves or try to get new clients based off of the fact that they sued Diddy successfully and got a quick settlement. Now, Combs' request would have a familiar effect on the attorneys for victims of Mr. Combs who have used their expertise and experience representing victims of sexual assault to help their brave clients come forward and seek justice. These survivors and their attorneys should not be silenced and prevented from pursuing their claims publicly or from speaking their truth during the pendency of Mr. Combs' criminal case. All right, and so he's absolutely right as far as I'm concerned. And now goes on to say, we thank the court for its time and attention to this matter. Respectfully submitted, Douglas H. Wigdor. Well, I don't know what the judge is going to say about that, because he has a very good point by the fact that they've all been talking about his sons out here trying to fight people for anything they dared to say about it, even voicing their own opinions. Okay, then his mother issued a whole written statement. Yeah, this is all not looking good for Diddy, and especially since his attorney was in that documentary. What was he even thinking? And I never could understand that, why he was in the documentary, okay, with your against your own client. And even if he said something beneficial about Diddy, even if he was trying to say Diddy's not guilty and we're going to find out the truth when we go to court, he'll have his day and all of this, at the end of the day, why was he involved in it? It's literally titled The Downfall of Diddy. Okay, so please make that make sense. But I want you all to pay attention to how Diddy pretty much, you know, those of you that follow the spiritual channel, you know, I'm always talking about manifestation and how words have power, and things that we do and say absolutely can create a reality for us. And that's apparently what happened to Diddy. Okay, when we think back to some of the song lyrics that I told you about, when he said, tell the feds, the cops, the feds, DA to come and get me. And now look where he is. But also, let's not forget the movie that he was in, Monsters Ball. Please pay attention.
It's on you, nephew. Take that top card. When I die, I want my last words to be, I did it.
Me. Yes, yeah. No, you're not. Everything that's good about me. You're the best of what I am. That's what you are. This man you see sitting here today, waiting. Hey, baby, you look nice today. You always look nice.
Real? Tell your daddy what you want at school?
Oh, yeah, right. My daughter's getting a school magazine cover.
Some games.
I heard a picture of you sitting alone in jail.
Being with solitude.
I'm ready to go, child. I'm ready to go for the day, boy.
Come on, Lars. Come on, buddy. Come on, buddy. Let's go. It's all right. It's all right. Just let go. Let go. Let go. It's all right. Let go. Come on. Come on.
See? All that karma catching up to you, Diddy. Mm-hmm.
Mm-mm. Okay, so that manifested for Diddy. Please pay attention. Okay, at the end of the day, he's not on death row, but he's clearly in jail without no bail and going to prison. If anything, if what the victims say have anything to do with it, okay. You all are something else. Lola, thank you, beloved, for your contribution to the channel. Peace, love, and blessings. Okay, everything Diddy's done has come to this point, says RG Tight. You got that right. This is a pure case, a prime example of art imitating life. Please pay attention. Okay, please pay attention at the end of the day. Now, let's get into this election information. Honey, this is all so crazy. First of all, let's talk about Biden. Biden really needs to sit down somewhere. Do you all know that he had his people to alter the transcript when he called people trash and garbage? Yeah. White House altered transcript of Biden's garbage comment despite stenographers' concerns. Well, let's get into it, honey, because it looks like Trump's not the only one that's shady. So they say serious concerns are being raised by the White House stenography office, okay, over what it called a breach of protocol in distributing an edited transcript of President Joe Biden's controversial garbage comment that former President Donald Trump seized on and Vice President Kamala Harris had to distance herself from earlier this week. Please pay attention. Now, issues were pointed out in an email from the stenography office to White House press. Basically, the communication. Hold on, honey. I'm sorry, there's a video on here that just all of a sudden started playing. It distracted me. Okay, so anyway, it goes on to say issues were pointed out in an email from the stenography office to White House press and communication officials obtained and reviewed by ABC News and was first reported by AP. Now, Biden's gaffe drew the fury of Republicans over comments that he made on Tuesday night's Vote Latino campaign, the campaign call, which seemed to refer to Trump's supporters as garbage. No, it's not no seemed. And clearly, that's what he said, okay? And I want you all to pay attention how to try to minimize it and saying Biden's gaffe. No, it wasn't a gaffe. That's when you just slip up and say something you didn't really mean to say, okay? Or that's when you say something that you shouldn't have said accidentally. But at the end of the day, he meant to say just what he said. Okay, he meant to say exactly what he said. Now, and then talking about which seemed to refer. Oh, he absolutely referred to them as garbage. Okay, and happened as Harris was delivering her high-profile campaign closing message on the ellipse near the White House, saying just the other day, a speaker at his rally called Puerto Rico a floating island of garbage. Well, let me tell you something. I don't know the Puerto Rican that I know, or a Puerto Rican that, well, what is this? Where I'm from, okay, they have some of this stuff blurred out. Where I'm from, in my home state of Delaware, they're good, decent, honorable people. The only garbage I see floating out there is his supporters. His demonization of Latinos is unconscionable, and it's un-American. It's totally contrary to everything, okay? It's totally contrary to everything that we've been. So the stenography office transcript reflected that the president told those on call that the only garbage I see floating out there is his supporters. Okay, now the published White House version has apostrophe in supporters, which the White House has pointed to as Biden referring to comedian made by Tony Hinchcliffe at Donald Trump's Madison Square Garden rally on Sunday. And that looks like a typo. But what I think they're trying to say is that he wasn't calling Trump supporters garbage, but basically trying to say that the comedian called them garbage. I'm not sure where they're going with this, but they need to sit down somewhere because we all heard what he said. Referring to comedian made by Tony Hinchcliffe at Donald Trump's Madison Square Garden rally on Sunday. Anyway, says White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre said the president clarified what he said in a tweet that same night to ensure that what he said was not taken out of context and that he was talking about the comedian. No. Don't try it. Don't try to walk it back now, Biden, with your lying self. Okay, I want you all to pay attention. Now he's trying to act like he was only talking about that comedian. No, he said the only garbage I see are his supporters. That's what he said. Now, with just days to go until the election, Trump attacked Biden's comment, going so far as to arrive in the battleground state of Wisconsin in an orange vest and riding in a garbage truck with his name branded on the side. Trump himself has used the same word to describe people that surround Vice President Harris, they say. Okay, when? And they didn't say anything about it. I'm sure we would have heard about it, but I digress. And so in the email, White House Stenography Office Director Amy Stans wrote, "Our stenography office transcript released to our distro, which includes the National Archives, is now different than the version edited and released to the public by press staff," they say. Now, if there is a difference in interpretation, the press office may choose to withhold the transcript, but cannot edit it independently. Okay, that's what they can't do. Now, the stenography office isn't disputing the apostrophe that was added in by the White House press and communications team, but rather how it was handled. So Sands explained that the press office requested an urgent transcript of Biden's Voto Latino event. Her office released that at 8:56 p.m. and after White House officials conferred with the president, they requested changes at 9:10 p.m. and reached out to Sands for approval, although she was unable to review the requested edits immediately. Now at 9:35 p.m., after attempting to contact me again, the press office created a 9:45 p.m. release timeline that I did not confirm, and then edited and released the campaign transcript at 10:09 p.m., bypassing standard stenography office edit and release protocols. This is what the email said. Now, Sands said this raises serious concerns and a breach of protocol and spoliation of transcript integrity between the offices. Now, the White House transcript must be the autonomous product of the White House stenography office. Now, the press office may request changes for consideration, but all requests must undergo final stenography office approval and be released via the official stenography distro. Now, then the wranglers can release the transcript to the public. I've made this clear in my presentation to the press office. So when asked about the email, Senior Deputy Press Secretary Andrew Bates told ABC News that the president confirmed in his tweet on Tuesday evening that he was addressing the hateful rhetoric from the comedian at Trump's Madison Square Garden rally. Okay, so they're just trying to minimize and act like, oh, I wasn't talking about his supporters. I was talking about that nefarious comedian who told the joke. Now, what do y'all have to say about that? Because I'm just telling you right now, the Democrats are just liars who lie. Please pay attention. The Democrats are nothing more than a pack of varmints who just lie because they're liars, okay? Now, mind you, now they've got Trump under an investigation, honey, for the comments that he made about Liz Cheney. Arizona Attorney General investigating Donald Trump's 9 barrels comment about Liz Cheney. So they are clearly reaching. I'm talking about the level of desperation you have to be under for you to go through all of this. Now, everyone with ears to hear and eyes to see know darn well that Trump wasn't calling for that woman to be executed by a firing squad. He literally called her a warmonger. This is all so crazy, but let me continue. So it goes on to say, Arizona Attorney General Chris Mays is investigating comments by former President Donald Trump, wondering how former U.S. Rep. Liz Cheney would feel if guns were trained on her face as a potentially prosecutable offense, saying, I have already asked my criminal division chief to start looking at that statement. So now they want to lock him up for this too. Oh, the desperation unknown. Okay, analyzing it for whether it qualifies as a death threat under Arizona laws. Okay, this is what Mays, who's a Democrat, said during the Friday taping of the Channel 12 news show Sunday Square Off, saying that I'm not prepared now to say whether it was or it wasn't, but it's not helpful as we prepare for our election and as we try to make sure that we keep the peace at our polling places and in our state. Now, Richie Taylor, Mays' spokesperson, told the Arizona Republic the office is looking into whether Trump's comments about Liz Cheney violated Arizona law. He added that the office has no other comment for now. Now, Trump campaign National Press Secretary Carolyn Leavitt said Friday that Mays' investigation of the comments is just a desperate attempt to help out Kamala Harris's failed freak-off campaign. Okay? I called it a freak-off campaign because that's what it is. I want you all to pay attention. Now, Trump made the comment while disparaging Cheney, a harsh critic of the former president, in an appearance with conservative pundit Tucker Carlson on Thursday at Glendale's Desert Diamond Arena. It's drawn strong pushback from Cheney, Vice President Kamala Harris, and others. Well, of course. What else are they going to do? What else can they find to whine and cry about? Okay? Please. Now, claiming Cheney's a radical war hawk who would send Americans to war, Trump remarked at the event, let's put her with a rifle standing there with 9 barrels shooting at her, okay? Let's see how she feels about it. You know, when the guns are trained on her face. This is how dictators destroy free nations, Cheney said on X Friday about Trump's comments. Well, actually, how dictators destroy free nations, it's by taking away their ability to say what they want to say when there's nothing violent, there's nothing threatening or whatever, when they just want to speak the truth or they have contrary views and opinions of the government that presides over them. That's how you do that, Dick Cheney. Okay, Liz Cheney. They threaten those who speak against them with death, he says. Okay, we cannot entrust our country and our freedom to a petty, vindictive, cruel, unstable man who wants to be a tyrant. I think the Democrats want to be tyrants, and I think they want unchecked power. That's what I think. Now, it's unclear what the 9 barrels might reference. Some, including Harris, suggested Trump had implied that he wanted to see Cheney executed by a firing squad. Donald Trump sat down with Tucker Carlson in the late night town hall where he suggested that Republican Liz Cheney should face a firing squad. Okay, that's what Harris's campaign said on Friday morning. Now, Trump's statement that Cheney would have a rifle standing there came in framing his apparent point about her being a war hawk. Okay, just like I told you all days ago. Now, after the violent imagery, Trump continued saying to Carlson, they're all war hawks when they're sitting in Washington in a nice building saying, oh, gee, well, let's see 10,000 troops. Let's send 10,000 troops right into the mouth of the enemy. Trump emphasized his meaning on the comment Friday, telling reporters Cheney kills people. She wants to go and kill people unnecessarily. Okay, Mays has faced criticism by Republicans for politicizing enforcement actions by her office, particularly with the state indictments of 18 people in the fake elector case related to the 2020 election. Now, that investigation deemed Trump as an unindicted co-conspirator or an unindicted conspirator. Okay, prosecutors asked the grand jury to back off after jurors considered indicting him. The drama that these Democrats keep getting into. They are so mad, honey, at the end of the day. But I want you all to pay attention to something, because Kabami told her nothing more than a freak-off campaign, and she stops from this state to that state to do freak-off rallies and inviting people who were at the freak-offs, allegedly. I'm sorry, say what? I'm sorry, say who? All of these varmints that call themselves celebrities who are out here telling us that we should, in fact, be voting for Kabami. I'm sorry, but please tell us why many of them, if not all, have been to Diddy's parties and hung out with Diddy, and who knows what all they did. Are they on the freak-off tapes? Because I have several questions. Wouldn't it be something, and I want you all to think about this, wouldn't it be something so salacious and nefarious at the same time if, in fact, Kabami wins the presidency, and then during Diddy's trial, okay, May the 5th of 2025, during his trial, it comes to light that the people that were actually endorsing her, standing up there on podiums and telling us that we should vote for her and this and that, and talking all the trash about Trump, wouldn't it be something if come to find out they were in fact on the freak-off footage? Okay, now according to reports, you know, J-Lo could actually be on there. All right. I mean, we saw that picture of her laid up in the bed with Diddy and all those other celebrities. What was that all about? All right. Please pay attention. And so in other news, a sexy Dusty Red endorses Kamala Harris for president. Okay. She posted this on her social media saying, I just voted. Don't tell us what to do with our Oochies with a C. Sounds just like Sexy Red, a.k.a. Dusty, a.k.a. Dusty Bird. Okay, that's what you said. Don't tell us what to do with our Oochies. All right, that was in referencing Trump with his abortion bans. It's all getting real ugly real quick. Now let's talk about Cardi B. Okay, because Cardi B made a whole fool of herself at that rally. She really did. I don't know if the teleprompter broke. That's what some people are saying. Either way, she made a complete fool of herself standing up there for like 90 seconds. Okay, didn't know where to go, didn't know which way to turn after she didn't have the words that she was supposed to be saying. Now I find it all interesting because here's the thing. Are we just going to act like Cardi B is not an sexual predator herself? Didn't Cardi B, in fact, admit herself that she would drug men when she was working as a stripper in the club, and that she would drug them and take their money? Didn't she also say that if a man cheated on her or ticked her off, that she would get a transgender woman without them knowing it and invite them to a threesome? That's assault. I'm sorry, say what? This is who Kabami had speaking at her behest? I found it all so nefarious. And not to mention, Cardi B was dogging the Democrats, specifically the Biden administration, which Kamala belongs to. And I'm going to play that footage also. So, everyone, please like and share. This is all so crazy. This is all so crazy. Pissifer or Cypher, I hope I said your name right, said people idolize her. So said, yes, it is. And it's even more sad that I see some of these women let their little young daughters dress like her. This is where she didn't have her words.
1 second, guys. 1 second. Okay. So I don't take lightly the call. Sorry, guys. I'm a little nervous. Guys. I've been waiting for this moment this whole life. My whole life. I need patience over here. Patience, where are you, girl? I need patience over here. Hold on. How you guys doing tonight? How you guys doing tonight? Are we ready to make history? Are we ready to make history? Are we ready to change these 4 years? No. Are we ready to change the next 8 years? Because we're going to make sure we have Kamala Harris in office for 8 years. Thank you.
Cardi B, please sit down somewhere. Sit down somewhere. Hold on, guys. I absolutely cannot, okay? Old school money loves to get that clown off the stage. I know, right? Please.
My whole life. I need patience over here. Patience, where are you, girl? I need patience over here. Hold on. How you guys doing tonight? How you guys doing tonight? Are we ready to make history? Are we ready to make history? Are we ready to change these 4 years? No. Are we ready to change the next 8 years? Because we're going to make sure we have Kamala Harris in office for 8 years. Thank you. I believe in every word that comes out of her mouth. She's passionate. She's compassionate. She shows empathy. And most of all, she is not delusional. Yeah. Kamala recognized that this country is at risk, that the economy needs to get stronger, that the cost of food and the cost of living is too high. Damn, it's even high for me. I believe her when she says, under her, buying eggs and milk won't break the bank, because she's gonna pass a ban on price gouging on groceries. And she told me that in my face. So she better not lie to me in my face.
How ghetto was that? DJ Big Six said clearly she didn't write it, okay? That's why she didn't know what to say. You see, if you're speaking from the heart, even if you don't have the teleprompter to use, you can just start talking and saying things that are coming from your heart, saying the things that you in fact mean. But Cardi B didn't mean any of that crap. She said, you know how I know this? Well, Because at the end of the day, like I said, she was very critical of the Biden administration, okay? She's done videos publicly. And so why would she all of a sudden be endorsing Kamala and speaking for her to rally? Well, I think she got a phone call and said, listen, girl, aren't you on those freak off videos? Yeah, well, you might want to get up there and say what we need you to say.
Was getting dragged. What I'm gonna say is, like a couple of weeks ago, I was getting dragged. I was getting dragged because I said I wasn't gonna vote for nobody. I'm not voting for nobody. People was calling me stupid, that I'm influencing a bad shit. No, because you know the thing about Americans, including me, like we don't gotta worry about nothing. All you gotta do is wake up, you sleep peacefully at night. You know what I'm saying? You sleep peacefully at night. You don't gotta worry about getting bombed. You don't gotta worry about your children or your parents getting blown the fuck up. You don't got to worry about that. I don't want to be a part of that. My vote is not going to be a part of none of that. So whoever wins, I know that it wasn't because of me. So you do what you want to do, but I'm going to do what I want to do. And I don't want to vote for nobody. I don't like that. I will never support that. I wouldn't. That is disgusting to me. That should be disgusting for everybody. But that's what I'm going to say.
Okay, so you all heard it. She said she wasn't voting for anybody. Now they got her up there caping for Kabami, honey. They must have put something in her ear. Please pay attention.
I get out of here. Also, I want to say one more thing before I get out of here. Y'all don't see me for weeks. I'm never fucking... Don't ever ask me. I don't give a fuck where this fucking country's at. Don't ever ask me to endorse no fucking president. I'm never endorsing nobody. I want to let you know this. Every single time that I supported anybody that's running for president, I never got paid $1. I never got asked to pay $1. I will never ask to pay $1 when I'm supporting somebody. I just did it because I always wanted the better for the state, for this country, for my people, for people that, you know, everything. I will never again support anybody. I'm not Democratic, I'm not Republican, I'm not nothing. I'm a fucking human, a human. I stand for the people. And I'll never, I'm so let down, it's not even funny. That's what I'm gonna say. I will never endorse nobody. Don't ever ask me. Don't ever this. No, nothing.
Okay, what was that she was making? Cereal? Sandra said this should be a campaign ad. Okay. Hold on. But let's continue. Okay, because I find it all so nefarious. AM said, I'm convinced she's slow. Okay. Denise said, now let me assault your ears. I was trying to figure out what that was she was making.
Really mad about...
Because how is there $100 million budget cut in New York City?
Cardi B is really mad about this move, which would affect
schools, library, police safety, and sanitation. Yeah, Joe Biden's talking about, like, yeah, we could fund 2 wars.
That last part needs context because, as she says later, it's Mayor Eric Adams who's behind these cuts. Biden's federal budget is completely different. But according to Adams, the federal government is partly to blame.
Our national government has abandoned this city
for his city budget cuts, which, by the way, are way more than $100 million. That amount Cardi B mentions is just that being cut from pre-K and 3K programs. Adams ordered a 5% slash citywide. That would mean $1 billion cut shut to schools alone over 2 years, the smallest police force in the city since the 80s, and libraries closing on Sundays, among other reductions. Adams says this is largely because of the migrant crisis, which he estimates will cost the city $11 billion over the next 2 years. He's also blamed federal COVID stimulus funds running out and tax revenue growth slowing. But it's spending on asylum seekers that Adams regularly highlights first.
This issue will destroy New York City.
Something Cardi B isn't really buying.
You're not gonna tell me that the budget cut is because you guys are helping out the immigrants.
And the city's comptroller, who oversees the city's budget, actually said something similar, that Adams' administration shouldn't be scapegoating immigrants for those cuts. And while there's been backlash and protests around these proposed cuts, Adams is already talking about having to do these 5% cuts again in January if the city doesn't get help.
Okay, is that why they're mad at Adams, honey? Because all that stuff he was saying about the immigrants? Please pay attention. And now, mind you, Cardi B did say that Donald Trump was going to win. Pay attention.
That's why
I already feel like Donald Trump is gonna win.
Right.
Like,
yeah,
he's gonna
man.
win.
Get ready, huh? That's why I tell people too, if you're not a Trump supporter, whatever it is, you just, even Biden, whoever's in there, you just got to do what you're gonna do anyway. Like, I'm not worried. I'm not waiting for nobody to take care of me.
Yeah.
I'm not putting all my faith in the government. I just know that I got Veronica, Jade, and Jaden.
Yeah.
Frontline and all my family. I got to take care of.
Yeah, but I mean, like you just see it, like you see that. I feel like you could just see that he has like a strong chance of winning. I've even been keeping up because I already feel like he's already gonna win. Mm-hmm. You got people that didn't support him. They had such a bad past 4 years that it's just like, oh yeah, we're just gonna vote for Trump. Might
as well, or not vote at all.
Yeah, or not vote at all. I'm not voting at all.
Yeah, already though.
I'm not voting at all.
I heard that.
Now you know the Dems are desperate when they get someone who claims they're not voting at all to come out and speak on their behalf. I find it all so interesting. And likes up, everyone, please. A like and share. Thank you in advance.
That Kamala Harris. Somebody want to tell this broad that Kamala Harris has been in the White House for almost 4 years now, and that she is responsible for them grocery prices that Cardi cannot afford. You talk about cognitive dissonance. And was you on that list? You was on that list. Because you shilling real good right now, girl. Then sold your soul, boo-boo. Then sold your soul.
Okay, something's afoot.
I'm a little ticked off. I just want you to know I'm a little ticked off, and I'm going to tell you why. $750. Oh, my God. Where American tax dollars is being used to fund illegal aliens into our country. And these illegal aliens didn't pay one dime or 1 red cent into our systems. And all Kamala Harris and Tampon Timmy want to give us $750. Listen, you all, we only have one choice. One choice, and that's President Donald J. Trump. We cannot afford another 4 years of this, so you're going to have to vote like your life depends on it. Like when you're taking your breath and it's your last breath and you need that vote in order to breathe. That's what you're going to have to do. So you're going to have to, I'm almost finished, Mr. President. So what you're going to have to do, you're going to have to overvote the cheat. You're going to have to outrun the runway, and we're going to have to make it too big to rig. Now I can feel Diamond rising up in me. because you have to vote right so you won't get left again. Vote red, R-E-D. Remove every Democrat. They gotta go. They gotta go. Now, while the media continue to play the race card, we gonna continue to play the Trump card so we can win, and win.
All righty then. Y'all heard what Silk said, how to please sit down somewhere, Democrats. Now let me just go back to Cardi B when she was at the rally, because I forgot the part where she called Trump a hustler. Okay, said Trump was out here hustling folks, honey. Pay attention.
But hustling women, we all knew Trump was a hustler. But hustling women out of their rights to their body is nasty work. Hustling Americans out of their hard-earned money by selling Trump watches, Trump sneakers, and Trump Bibles. Today is your wallet. Tomorrow, he'll be conning you out of your healthcare rights. And that's a fact. Donald Trump talks about how he has a concept of a plan, but America, the only concept of a plan he has is a plan to hustle you. Yeah. Because we know what he's really setting us for. He's selling more than watches and sneakers. He's selling us bigotry, misogyny, division, chaos, and confusion. He wants us to hate each other.
I know she didn't go there, did she? Talk about chaos and confusion, honey. I'm sorry, but isn't that what the Democrats are in fact doing when they allow biological men to participate in women's sports? Make it all make sense. I don't want biological men coming in the restroom with me, but that's what the Democrats allow. Okay, so please pay attention. Now, I don't have anything against how anybody chooses to live their life, but I don't want it infringing upon my benefits.
He said,
and my rights. Now listen to this when she goes in about him saying he's going to protect women.
He said he's going to protect women whether they like it or not. Donnie Dunk, please. Protection for women, especially if we're talking about maternal and mental health care, is in telling them what to do with their bodies. It's supporting them and giving them the care they need for what they choose to do with their bodies. People like Donald Trump don't believe women deserve rights. And when those rights are taken away, they are nowhere to be found. Those people outside Planned Parenthood screaming at women's faces, they don't be there when women go through stuff. First of all, shout out to the single moms out there, but it's hard. Trump says he's going to protect women whether they like it or not. Well, if his definition of protection is making sure our daughters have fewer rights than our mothers, then I don't want it. I don't want it.
I am so through. Okay, please pay attention. But here she is again talking trash about the Biden administration previously.
Must be like, ain't you rich? Why you complaining about food prices? And y'all must be like, ain't you rich? Why you complaining about lettuce? Why you complaining about this? That just goes to show me when you become successful, when you have money, you're gonna go broke soon because y'all not budgeting. I get a summary of the money that's being spent in my home every week. So when I'm starting to see that like groceries is like tripling up, it's like, hey, yo, what the fuck on? I want to see for myself what the shit is being spent on. And like when I go to the supermarket, like I went to a supermarket, I'm seeing that everything tripled up. That like lettuce was like $2 a couple of months ago, and now it's like $7. Of course, I'm gonna say something. Because if I think that shit is crazy, I could only imagine what middle class people or people in the hood is motherfucking. So yes, I'm going to say something. And I have a big platform, so I do want anybody that's responsible of these prices to put that shit down. They're gonna see my shit, they might put it down.
A few years later.
Mind you, and this is why I said this is why I'm telling y'all, I'm not this year. Don't ask me. I don't give the resume that they send. I'm not endorsing no presidents no more. Because how is there $100 million budget cut in New York City for schools, library, police safety, and sanitation. Yeah, Joe Biden's talking about, like, yeah, we could fund 2 wars. We could fund 2 wars. Mom's talking about we don't got it, but we got it. Like, we're the greatest nation. No, we're not. We're going through right now.
Several months later.
Hold on. How you guys doing tonight?
Okay, I rest my case. Okay. Clearly a whole liar and a hypocrite. Please pay attention. Please pay attention. At the end of the day, this is what they do. And this is how you know they're so desperate. Why would you bring out someone, first of all, with Cardi B's level of intellect, and then for 2, someone that has said all of these things bashing your own administration? I mean, you look real stupid at this point. It's all I'm saying. But let's go to this man talking about Biden's garbage comments.
You know who supports Trump? Moms, dad. Garbage, huh, Joe? You know who supports Trump? Moms, dads, veterans, police officers, firefighters, teachers, Christians, Muslims, people of all colors. They all garbage, Joe? All of them? And the craziest part is, you should be an expert in garbage, considering you were discarded like some by your own party. Remember all those times you said, "How dare Donald Trump refer to America as a failing nation? How dare he?" Hey, Joe, you're the sitting president of the United States, and you just called half the country garbage. Get a fucking grip, Joe. Just so you know, Joe, that's garbage. Yeah, that's garbage. We're just people who are allowed to support whoever we want. Sorry, it's not you. And all the people out there who have been called garbage, I got a brand new music video dropping this Friday at 9 a.m., and I think you're going to like it a lot.
Now, with that all being said, here's the thing. Now, Kamala wants to sit there, her and her minions, fools as they are, want to say that Trump's the one causing division. But isn't that, in fact, what they're all doing? Pay attention, as I told you a myriad of times, how all of them collectively want to go in on people who don't support her. They send Barack Obama out there, Michelle Obama, and then Biden calls people garbage. And then they paint all of these ignorant narratives trying to act like Trump really wants Liz Cheney to be killed before a firing squad. Clearly desperate at this point, okay? Now, I'm going to play a video for you guys. It's about 18 minutes long. I don't know if I'll play the entire thing. I just might. But it is Jake Paul. And he was making some very good points about this whole entire debacle that's going on. Okay, please pay attention. But let me just show this clip of a Trumpster on her way, I guess, to trick-or-treat to a Halloween party. But look what she has on.
Hey, y'all. Any ideas what I'm going to be for Halloween? Oh, yeah, you got it. That's it.
I am just so through at this point. Okay? Luna says she makes Kabami look smart. Oh, this is all so interesting. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. With that all being said, like I told you guys, they are so desperate. It's ridiculous at this point. I mean, just grasping for straws, clearly. Okay, let me go to this clip real quick before we get into Jake Paul.
How this place is ready for a high security event on Tuesday, an election.
Now, understand something. This is politics, okay? So they're going to say they're going to do whatever they can to diminish Trump. And that's why if he wins the election, I pretty much think it will be the death of him. Because what they're doing by running this story that the AG is investigating is not because it's really rooted in any truth. It's because they're trying to create more stories that favor Kamala Harris and don't favor Donald Trump. That's really what's happening here. Propaganda, in short. So here's what Kamala Harris had to say in response, which was really nothing. But let's take a look.
Donald Trump's closing argument is very different. He pits Americans against one another. He spends full time having Americans point their fingers at one another. And he spends a considerable amount of time plotting his revenge on his political opponents. As of last night, just to add more, he has indicated that the person who would be in charge of health care for the American people is someone who has routinely promoted junk science and crazy conspiracy theories, who once expressed support for a national abortion ban, and who is the exact last person in America who should be setting healthcare policy for America's families and children. And then, even worse, he has increased his violent rhetoric, Donald Trump has, about political opponents, and in great detail, suggested rifles should be trained on former Representative Liz Cheney. This must be disqualifying. Anyone who wants to be president of the United States who uses that kind of violent rhetoric is clearly disqualified and unqualified to be president.
Let me tell you all something. I'm so glad that she said what she said. I want you to pay attention, okay? When she's talking about that Trump has hired someone that was previously against the abortion ban, or they were for the abortion ban, and someone who's promoted junk science, she's talking about Robert F. Kennedy Jr., because we know that he has never been for people getting the venom. Okay, that's why she said he's promoted junk science. Okay, because he's against the same thing that her and Biden mandated that you take whether you want to or not. But what I find interesting is while she's talking about Trump and Robert F. Kennedy Jr., what she's not telling you is that Bill Gates, now we all know that Bill Gates is a eugenicist, allegedly. Okay, just like his father, who was also good friends with Margaret Sanger, who was also the founder or one of the people who started Planned Parenthood, which was initially called the Negro Project, because she said that Black people were like weeds and needed to be exterminated. Okay, and it's interesting that they call it now Planned Parenthood to make it seem as though they're trying to help you plan for a family, when really they're trying to help you commit genocide on your future generations. With that all being said, I find it interesting that Kabami was endorsed by Bill Gates. Now, privately, what many people don't know is that Bill Gates donated $50 million to her campaign. Yes, he did this secretly. Okay, it was done privately. All right, so let's get into it. She's not talking about that, but she wants to try to go in on Robert F. Kennedy Jr. I'm sorry, he's a far cry different than Bill Gates, okay, who's, by the way, supposedly in trouble with the people of the Netherlands, okay? All right, so look into that. I'm not going to say what it's all about on here, but look at this. Bill Gates dropped a cool $50 million backing Kamala Harris, while the Microsoft founder hasn't publicly confirmed the reported donation. Gates said in a statement that this election is different. And I want you all to pay attention, because here's the thing. She's acting as though Robert F. Kennedy Jr. isn't qualified for the position that Trump's given him. Well, at the end of the day, Bill Gates definitely isn't qualified. Where did he go to college to get a medical degree? He doesn't have one. Is he a virologist, an epidemiologist, a biologist, a chemist, a scientist? No, he isn't. Okay, is he an MD? No, he isn't. Does he have degrees for any of those things I just mentioned? No, he doesn't. So how the hell is he the one going around here telling people about venom that they should be taking? How is he going around here to these different countries telling people what they should be doing with their health care? I find it all very interesting. Okay, he has no business being involved in anything that someone has to have injected into their body, okay, as it pertains to medical issues or anything like that. Why is he always the one at the forefront of it while the Kabamians, okay, and Biden's were in the White House? I just want you all to pay attention. Okay, these people are full of ish. Okay, please pay attention. That's exactly what they are. Now, here's what they say. Bill Gates has quietly, mind you, like I said, Bill Gates has quietly donated about $50 million to a group working to elect Vice President Kamala Harris in next month's presidential election, according to reports. Okay, so I'm sorry, but the proof is in the pudding, and the devil is definitely in the details. And speaking of that, let's not forget the Barack Obama, because here's what I told you all. They want to scare us about Project 2025 and say, oh, Trump's behind it, even though Trump has publicly denounced it more than once. And I find it so interesting because you see, as I told you, one of the trusting founders or the founding trustees endorsed Kamala. And maybe the rest of them endorsed her too. But at the end of the day, here's the thing. Did y'all know that Obama was working with the Heritage Foundation? I told you all that's where Obamacare actually came from. So let's talk about it, because I have the clip right here with the receipts of him saying it out of his own mouth. Okay, so who's really for Project 2025? Is it the Democrats or is it the Republicans or both? Ask yourself. Okay, why are the Democrats dealing with these people if they're so against the things that they put out? Okay, make it all make sense, Democrats, but I'm sure they cannot.
So look what I found. A interview with Barack Obama, the great Barack Obama, with Vice President Joe Biden under him. They used the Heritage Foundation, incorporated some of their ideas into Obamacare. And he admits it in this interview. That would be the same Heritage Foundation that came up with Project 2025 that the Democrats are telling you Donald Trump is going to
bill itself. It incorporates all sorts of Republican ideas.
Okay.
I mean, a lot of commentators have said, yeah, this is sort of similar to the bill that Mitt Romney, the Republican governor and now presidential candidate, passed in Massachusetts.
Okay.
A lot of the ideas in terms of the exchange, just being able to pool and improve the purchasing power of individuals in the insurance market, that originated from the Heritage Foundation. That originated from the Heritage Foundation. That originated from the Heritage Foundation. That originated from the Heritage Foundation.
Okay. Y'all heard it. That originated from the Heritage Foundation. Okay, please make it all make sense. And like I told you guys, if Kamala was really so against the Heritage Foundation, who came up with Project 2025, why did she accept their endorsement? I asked somebody that on yesterday who's a Kabamian, and they said, oh, because people that are running for president, they never turn down endorsements. You can turn down whatever the hell you want. Okay, please miss me with the bullshit. Some people continuously make asinine excuses for the bullshit that the Democrats continuously engage in. But oh, let's not stop there. Let's talk about how the cheating of it all is already going on, allegedly. Now, they say, according to Kentucky polls, they're malfunctioning and says we cannot let them cheat. So let's get into it. Likes up, everyone. Please like and share. Now, you all see that the person's clearly trying to press Trump to vote for him, but it keeps popping up for Kamala Harris. And when I asked that same person on yesterday, what do they think about that? They said, well, that happens all the time for both parties. Sit down somewhere. Again, with the asinine excuses and bullshit. Okay, this is what I'm talking about right here. I told you guys the fix is already in. Please pay attention. But hold on. Here's another issue they were having at the voting polls, where conveniently this man he was having some sort of issues, and then they told him that his ballot was going to be counted later. Okay, please pay attention.
Questions, the election board's right next door.
Thank you. I think it's because I voted for Trump. It doesn't work.
I see what happened, but yeah, you have to personally tell that you want them off the ballot. But we can, yeah.
Says the ballot wasn't read.
Right.
This is the canister. We're opening this and taking your ballot, sir.
Okay.
Keep your eye on me. Okay.
Right. Now it's going where?
Now it's going in here.
That's the deposit box for my ballot.
Deposit box.
So it's not electronically totaled?
Not that I know of, but I'm a late.
How do I know it's being counted
Well, let's get
in
this
that box?
right. It's in here
Right.
with everybody else that voted in this machine. This is return. This is locked, and this is sealed.
But did it read it?
Yes, there's print, as long as it was a print on that card and not blank, and everything you picked is on that card. Whoever you picked.
It will be read
Okay.
after 8 p.m.
Okay.
the night of the election.
Hand read, I guess?
No, computer.
The computer will
They
read?
take all them cards, they put them in a computer. Can we stand outside?
Yeah.
You have a blue screen?
Yes, it's blue.
Yeah, it's building.
All right. How come there was a problem with it?
They jam occasionally. They jam occasionally. Paper.
This happens frequently?
No. Okay. Okay.
All right. I'm going to go.
Well, any further questions? The election board's right next door.
I would have had several more questions. Okay. They jam occasionally. Is that on occasion when people are voting for Trump? I have several questions. Please pay attention, honey. These people are something else. Okay. These people are something else. But hold on, because we still have people talking about, we still have people out here dressing as trash. Okay, Bafana Duba says, why are the Democrats so desperate in the first place? Because, honey, they want unchecked power. That's what they want, beloved. Okay, they want unchecked power. And, you know, those people sound like they were lying. Okay, they look real suspicious. And that looked like a voting box from 1965, honey. Please pay attention. I'm sorry, what?
So I just went and voted right around the corner from my house here in California. And I pull up, I take my little hat off, but I don't take my garbage bag off. Now, I'm going to tell y'all something. I am in the most liberalist state, probably out the whole damn union, okay? California is pretty blue here, okay? Why everybody showing up in their trash bags? The lady was like, I guess you're not going to tell me why you have a trash bag on either, huh? And I looked at her. And I looked at everybody, and everybody looked at me like, you better not say nothing. I ain't saying nothing. You gonna have to Google it, lady. Why we all wearing trash bags? This is why we wearing trash bags. Okay.
All right, I want you all to pay attention. I find it all so hilarious. Now listen. Hold on. Let's see what Support the Arts is saying. Support the Arts foolishly says, so cringe, Trump voters clearly hurt. The only one that's hurt is you, because you're the only one worried about other people's supporters, okay? You're the only one worried about it. Support the Arts. I've been sitting here reading the comments. Nobody has said anything to you. Nobody has gone in on you. But yet you're the one who always has something to say. That's because you're a butthurt, beloved. Nobody else. Trust and believe. Nobody else but you. And I think I'm going to end up banning you from the channel just so that on election night when we have our little concert, you won't be invited, okay? Because I don't want you in here trying to cause distractions with your ignorance and getting on anybody's nerves, especially not mine, okay? Please pay attention. Please pay attention, honey, okay? At the end of the day. Like, sub, everyone, please like and share. And you all, I'm about to show you all this video right here. Hold on. I got to show you all this video where a Trump supporter hit this little boy upside the head, honey. It's all nefarious. Please pay attention. A pro-Trumper assaults an 11-year-old. Bless his little heart. Okay, please pay attention. He was having a time getting that out there, okay? But I digress. So let us continue. Like, sub, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance. Now let's get to this Jake Paul video. Like I told you guys, this is about 18 minutes long. I can stop it if you like, but you might want to keep listening because I found it to be very interesting. Like, sub, everyone, please like and share. Hold on, before we play this, let's have a word from our sponsor at 12 Tribes.
Do not buy 12 Tribes on Earth hair growth oil and hair magic elixir unless you want super healthy, gorgeous hair that grows. They have a whole line of amazing hair growth products, including hair growth leave-in conditioner spray, hair growth shampoo, hair growth spray, and hair growth butter. I'm starting starting to sense a theme here. They include quality natural ingredients. They smell amazing, and you can see the results for yourself. So if you're looking for healthy hair growth for your natural or relaxed hair, try 12 Tribes on Earth today.
All right, now don't forget you can purchase your 12 Tribes hair oil at Etsy.com. Just look for Lisa Crafts, and also you can find it at Walmart.com. Okay, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance. Hold on. I'm going to play a little tune so we don't have any copyright issues. Okay, here we go. Put my overlay up here. Likes up, everyone, please like and share.
This video because of what it means in terms of my career, my life, people coming after me, more accusations, more turmoil, more division potentially. However, I just want to provide information to the potentially undecided voter, the things that I have seen over the past couple of years that have led me in a certain direction as to who I am supporting in this presidential election. And most of all, encouraging y'all to actually vote, encouraging y'all to actually do your own research and to base that research in the truth, not just reckless propaganda or your favorite pop star telling you to vote a certain way and you believing them because you love their song. And with that said, after watching this video, you shouldn't necessarily just listen to me either. Do your own research before you go and vote. But I highly, highly, highly encourage you to exercise your right to vote. Because I moved to Puerto Rico in pursuit of becoming a world champion in my boxing career, I have rescinded my right to vote. But that doesn't mean I can't present my 80 million large audience with proper facts, numbers, and data to encourage them to vote in the proper direction to quite literally save America. And I'll start off with something that bothered me recently was Tony Hinchcliffe, a comedian who made a bad joke. Obviously, he's doing his job, trying to be funny, but him talking smack about Puerto Rico was not funny. And I want to shine a light on the fact that these aren't Donald Trump's views. It was a comedian who made a bad joke.
I have no idea who he is, never saw him, never heard of him, and don't want to hear of him.
Tony, while I love most of your work, Puerto Rico is the most beautiful place on earth. And the people here are absolutely incredible. Wars, health, guns, jobs, economy, inflation, border control, freedom of speech. The list goes on and on and on with the number of problems that America currently faces. And I don't come to you to make this video to create more division. I believe love is the key to the universe and that we should all love each other more and more and more. And it saddens me that in the current political state of the world in America, people can't have opinions without outrageous backlash. And I truly believe we can all agree on that things just don't feel right. America doesn't feel good. It shows that we are more divided than ever. And I can't sit back and watch this blasphemy unfold in front of me any longer. What is the problem? Democrats have been in power for 12 of the last 16 years. So if we aren't happy with the current political state, economic state, environmental state, then who is to blame? Tim Walz, the vice presidential candidate, has even said this himself.
We can't afford 4 more years of this.
We can't have 4 more years of this. Even Tim says there needs to be change. And he's right. We need to change from Kamala Harris to the Republican candidate, Donald Trump. Tim, I remind you that your running mate, Kamala Harris, is vice president currently in the office and hasn't done anything while she's in office. Basically no accomplishments. Let's start with a chart of inflation during the Biden-Harris term. Their overall inflation is 20.2% compared to the Trump-Pence administration with an overall inflation of 6.7%. Statistically 14% better while Trump was running the economy. As you can see in every category, energy, gasoline, rent, and food, the numbers are exponentially lower and the lowest of the past 30 years of presidents. Again, regardless of your emotion, I'm just presenting you with facts. Do I think Donald Trump is a perfect human being? No, I don't think anybody on this planet is a perfect human being, myself included. Don't judge people off of a character that the media has portrayed them to be, because Democrats control 90% of the US media, so they will paint a picture to y'all, and that picture is what they want you to see. And to be frank, I'm not concerned with Donald Trump's character flaws or what he's done in the past. What I'm concerned with is how good of a president is he, because that is his job, and that is what's going to affect the people of this nation. Oh, Bill Belichick, so hard to work with. He's a dick to all of his players, but yet he's the most winningest coach in all of the NFL. We're not here to call names and get involved in emotional battles. Let's look at who was a better president during their terms. Statistically, the next major point that always comes up is abortion. Donald Trump abortion. Donald Trump isn't protecting women's rights. That's what the media has painted to you, and it's absolutely not true. Donald Trump was the president before for 4 years. What rights as a woman were taken away from you? The answer is none. Donald Trump wants to put the power into the hands of each state to determine whether abortions will be legal there or not. So if you live in a Democratic state like California, yes, the Democrats will vote to allow abortion in California, putting the power in the hands of the people. So while many women are focused on this single issue voting, I encourage you not to be a single issue voter.
He was already president, and how many rights did you lose? 0. He's trying to protect women's rights. What do you think it is when we have men in women's sports? We have men in our personal spaces. What do you think it is when dangerous men come over the border? That's what protecting women and children is. Oh, he already said he's not going to do a nationwide abortion ban. He's not going to do it.
Facts. And if you really cared about women and their opportunities and their lives, I think it would be better to have a president that doesn't want biological men competing in women's sports. How many opportunities over the last couple of years have been stripped from women who spend their whole entire lives in a sport, hoping for opportunities for it to be taken away by a biological male? And not to mention biological men in women's restrooms. What world have we gotten to where that seems acceptable and that is a political discussion in any way, shape, or form? And as a future father, you will find me dead before I send my daughter to a school where men can go into her bathroom and where men can compete against her in sports. It's bullshit. That is taking away a woman's rights. And I don't hate trans people. It's not an attack against them. I believe adults should dress and act however they want, but you shouldn't encroach your rights into other areas of delusion and infringe on other humans' basic rights. And Caitlyn Jenner herself is a perfect example of this, and someone who carries herself perfectly in a complex and tough situation and conversation across the world. And as a man, you should be offended by the fact that Kamala Harris goes on a podcast saying that there is no law that governs a man's body.
Can we try to think of any law that gives the government the power to make a decision?
I know what you're going to ask.
About a man's body. Let's
No.
Is there any law?
No.
Hey, Kamala, what about the draft, which requires men to fight for their country, die, go to war, or face imprisonment and $250,000 in fines? What about that law, Kamala? As a man, that should frustrate you that she's neglecting the truth about what men do for this country. And women do so much for this country. But let's not make this a battle of sexes. Everyone is equally important in this discussion. And sorry, Thor. Yeah, I know. It's madness. It's a crazy world. It's gonna be okay. That's Thor. He's voting for Donald Trump. I would also argue that Donald Trump is protecting women by not letting 15 million illegal immigrants through the borders. 662,566 have criminal histories, 13,000 convicted of homicide, and so on. Having those unidentified people roaming the streets, I believe, arguably, is a bigger potential threat to the women of America. Even the Border Patrol Council, the people who are in charge of the border, endorsed Donald Trump. Quote, if we allow Border Czar Harris to win this election, this great country is going to hell.
The untold millions of people, unvetted, who she has allowed into this country that are committing murders, robberies, burglaries, and every other crime will continue to put our country in peril.
Take it from the people who are actually on site, actually managing the border, not from me. And throughout Donald Trump's campaign, the left, who owns 90% of the media, has convinced the world that Donald Trump doesn't like gay people. But when we pull up the footage of Donald Trump's past supporting gay people, people will want to ignore that clip.
I'm all for guys that like men, but it's just not my thing.
I will do everything in my power to protect our LGBTQ citizens.
And then we pull up Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton, and Joe Biden, who are all Democrats, being anti-gay and anti-gay marriage and campaigning it publicly. It's on camera. Roll the clip.
Do you support gay marriage?
No, Barack Obama nor I support redefining from a civil side what constitutes marriage.
I believe that marriage is the union between a man and a woman.
I believe that marriage is not just a bond, but a sacred bond between a man and a woman.
But somehow they convince people that no, Donald Trump's the bad guy. Meanwhile, he's hosting gay marriages in Mar-a-Lago. And as he should. We're all for people loving whoever they want to love. What we're not here for is adults campaigning in the streets to young children to have surgeries that will affect them for the rest of their lives when they don't know who they are, what they want to be, or what they want to turn into. And people should really understand the difference between those two ways of thinking. You have to be 18 to vote, 18 to smoke, but you can mutilate your body at 10 years old. It's not okay. Donald Trump's a felon, convicted of felonies. He's a bad person. We can't let a criminal into the government. Every member founding the U.S. Constitution and this great country that has grown from the U.S. Constitution was a convicted felon of Great Britain. The people rebelling against the system, wanting to create change, wanting to disrupt, and wanting to do right by the people that founded this country were all felons. Shouldn't it be obvious that the good person they don't want in office? Shouldn't it be obvious that the one they're trying to kill is the one we need? And shouldn't it be a sign that a member of the most famous Democratic family, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., switched this year from Democratic to Republican, stating so many things that the party has lost its way, it doesn't stand with what they represent anymore, and is joining Donald Trump in his cabinet to make America healthy again, which I think as a young person is one of the biggest problems in America. The unhealthy food, the vaccines that were forced upon us. This is a major problem that is killing so many people. Obesity. You look at other countries, they're not fat like Americans, and I believe RFK will actually make a difference in this. But on the Democratic side, there's no mission forward on this side. And one of RFK's biggest points is he believes that the left is a threat to democracy, to free speech, all of these things. And that's the very thing that the left campaigns to be holding tried and true. We're going to protect democracy, all while doing the least democratic thing possible. Suppressing RFK, not providing him with Secret Service, not allowing him to be a part of debates. Isn't that a part of democracy? Again, I'll let you ponder on that. And me personally, I don't really like politicians. It's, oh, look at me, I'm nice, I'm this, I'm perfect, this is what I'm gonna do. I like the fact that Donald Trump is a businessman who has billions of dollars and won't be influenced by some deal or some treaty that's gonna make himself personally rich, which we all know the dirty game of politics. And the following statement is just my opinion and not necessarily hard facts, and it's alleged, But isn't it crazy that apparently Nancy Pelosi goes into office and then comes out $200-300 million richer from knowing what stocks to invest into because of the deals that she is making? No, we want a rich, wealthy president who won't be influenced by money and make the proper decisions for the country. Shouldn't this be obvious? Which leads me to the madness of this current presidential administration, who is funding multiple wars, different sides of each war, funneling billions and billions and billions of dollars into Ukraine, where 1 million Russians and Ukrainians have died, 20 times worse than the Vietnam War. Kamala Harris and Joe Biden are funding that, funding Iran to give money to Hamas to fight Israel, then funding Israel to fight back against the Hamas, funding both sides of a war of terror where innocent people are dying. And then hurricanes hit the United States. Thousands and thousands and thousands of Americans who don't have supplies, who don't have basic needs met because, well, Kamala and Joe spent all of our money funding these wars overseas. But when the Americans need the money, no one's there to help.
And the federal relief and assistance that we have been providing has included FEMA providing $750.
$750. LOL. I remind you, that is the current presidential administration where Trump had peace in the world. Why? Because people respect him. Imagine Vladimir Putin, one of the most powerful, hard men on the planet, in a meeting with Kamala Harris, talking about war. Yeah, right. People forget Trump went and shook hands, the first president ever to do it, to go to North Korea, make friends with Kim Jong-un, friends with Putin, because they respect him. And that is why the world was at peace. We are on the brink of World War III. It's happening in front of our eyes, and the effects that will have on you and your kids are unfathomable. And quite frankly, I hate all the circus, all the madness going on, bringing up celebrities that talk and trick you into voting for certain sides, which is why I wanted to make this video, because I haven't seen anyone just sit down and talk logically about what the fuck is going on. Wake up. Stop being tricked into, oh, look at here, we have this person. Oh, look at this. Oh, vote for this person because this guy said so. No, just look at the facts. Think for yourself. Don't be a sheep in this world full of sheep. And yeah, I see it already. Everyone attacking me, coming for me because of this video. I'm putting my business, my career on the line during my peak, going in to fight Mike Tyson on Netflix, sitting here telling you the truth because I don't give a what the consequences are. Come for me, attack me, make up with your liberal left media like you've always done about me in the first place. I'm not scared one bit because I am protected by God. God has sent me here to tell you this message and push this in front of me and put this on my plate to do this. Do the right thing. Vote for Donald Trump. Not because I said so, not because Beyonce said so, but because it's what's right. And I got news for you. Most of your favorite celebrities, athletes, all of that are secretly conservative because the left has created a world where conservatives like me speaking out have major, major consequences. It's only okay for a celebrity to speak out and endorse the left. And that's only going to get worse unless people like myself stand up and say, fuck the system. And even if you hate me for making this video, my message to you is I love you, even if you are lost. Genuinely, from the bottom of my heart, I have love for all of the people of America. And with all this said, I have friends that are Democrats and Republicans, and we all go about our lives in one harmony. That is what I really wish and encourage for this world. Remember, it's the United States of America. And if you are a Democrat, why?
And he said, if you are a Democrat watching this, maybe you could learn something. Okay, please pay attention. All right, so that all being said, he was clearly talking to support the arts. Okay, he was clearly talking to you, beloved. I hope you paid attention. Now, with that all being said, okay, I have some more news that just came out a few hours ago, I do believe. So Likes up. Everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance. You know, at the end of the day, the Democrats, pay attention to what he said, that celebrities cannot come out and speak for conservatives unless they want to face consequences. They can only come out in support of the left. Okay, please pay attention. I absolutely believe it. Vince, I am said, Queen, you're always funny. Thank you, beloved. Listen, speaking of that, Vince, I am from the UK. I saw you asking about that song. Okay, that is my song, The Queen and Royals on the Throne. Okay, pay attention to the lyrics. That is our song. All right, it's called By Haters. All right, so now with that all being said, let's talk about it, because ex-police officer from Louisville, Kentucky has been found guilty of violating Breonna Taylor's civil rights. Okay, hallelujah. All right, Brett Hankinson, you just got sold. Okay, now with that all being said, let's get into it, because you all remember Brett Hankinson. This is the idiot that shot all through the house or whatever, and some of the bullets went to the apartment that was beside or behind Breonna Taylor's. He was charged with wanton endangerment, but then they hit him with violation of her civil rights. Okay, and so let's talk about it. A jury on Friday found former Louisville police officer Brett Hankinson guilty of violating Breonna Taylor's civil rights during a fatal botched police raid in a retrial of the federal case against him. All right, the guilty verdict came hours after the jury acquitted Hankinson of a second count of violating the civil rights of 3 of Taylor's neighbors who lived in an adjacent apartment, who was also struck by gunfire during the raid. Okay, so let's go to the news report. And then we're out of here. All right, we're out of here. So you only got a few more days, folks. Okay, election is Tuesday. Now, don't forget to tune in to the Queen that night, because we're going to be going live. We're going to have a good time. And that's what we're going to do. No haters allowed. Please pay attention.
All right, and as we move on tonight, we do have some new information in the trial of a police officer involved in the night Breonna Taylor was shot and killed. The jury has given a partial verdict now of not guilty on count 2 of the federal charges against former detective Brett Hankinson, accused of violating the civil rights of Breonna Taylor's 3 neighbors living adjacent to Taylor's Louisville apartment, which was raided in 2020. The jury is still deadlocked on count 1. That deals with Breonna Taylor's civil rights. ABC News legal contributor Brian Buckmeyer, a perfect person to have with us tonight. So let's sort through this. The verdict we have, we'll start with that. Why do you think the jury came to the conclusion of not guilty on that count?
So, Phil, I think it comes down to there being 2 different issues here, and I think you highlighted it very well. The second count being the deprivation of civil rights for the neighbors that Brett Hankinson is accused of shooting through Breonna Taylor's glass window that was covered, so he couldn't see any objects or people behind that. And the bullet's not hitting Breonna Taylor, but going through her apartment and then into the neighboring apartment. The jury has obviously come to the conclusion that Brett Hankinson is not guilty of violating those people's rights in the other apartment, perhaps because he had no idea that anyone was in there. But when it comes to shooting into the apartment that he did know that people were in there, it seems like if we look back at one of the earlier questions that the jury had as to whether or not a person can violate someone's rights if they're not living in that room, that's something that the jury is still deliberating and struggling with, that they're hung on, or at least still deliberating on, as to the violations of Breonna Taylor's rights.
Yeah, and I'm wondering what you think could be holding them up on that count. I mean, you can't get in the mind of a jury, but what do you think is going on in there?
What I would guess, and again, this is just reading the tea leaves, both from the way they'd be able to distinguish between the neighbors and Breonna Taylor, because they've already given us a verdict as it applies to the neighbors. But also, again, going back to that question of, can you deprive someone of civil rights if they're no longer alive? Don't forget that Brett Hankinson, his bullet never hit Breonna Taylor. I believe that they're looking at it from the sense of when the other officers shot into the home, was Brett Hankinson shooting at a home where Breonna Taylor was already dead? Therefore, her rights could not have been violated by Brett Hankinson, or was she still alive? It's almost near impossible to be able to say when a person died within split seconds of a bullet being firing through that home. And I think that's the difficulty in the back and forth in this case. Maybe the jury comes back and says, you know what, we'll kind of quote unquote split the baby, not guilty on one, guilty on the other, or maybe they'll just go not guilty on both.
All right, Brian Buckmeyer, thanks for taking us through it tonight. Complicated case. Appreciate it.
All right. So with that all being said, likes up, everyone, please like and share. At the end of the day, all of those officers should have gotten life sentences as far as I'm concerned. Okay, because first of all, they were at the wrong house. How many people forgot that? You see, they said that in the first reports initially, but then they kind of walked it back and then never spoke of it again. Okay, they were at the wrong darn house. The guy that they were looking for, Jamarius Glover, her ex-boyfriend, was already in custody of the police and was quite frankly arrested at a whole nother address. Okay, and so anyway, prosecutors argued Hankerson's use of force was unjustified, but put people in danger. He put people in danger and violated the civil rights of Taylor and her three neighbors. The indictment alleged Hankerson deprived Taylor of the right to be free from unreasonable seizures and deprived her neighbors of the right to be free from the deprivation of liberty without due process of law. Several witnesses, including Louisville's current police chief, testified during the trial that the former officer violated Louisville police policy requiring officers to identify a target before firing. Now, the defense argued during the trial that Hankerson had joined a poorly planned raid and that he fired his weapon after believing someone was advancing toward the other officers. Now, they say the charges carry a maximum sentence of life in prison if convicted. Now, the plainclothes officers were serving a warrant searching for Taylor's ex-boyfriend, who they alleged was dealing drugs when they broke down the door to her apartment. He was not at the residence, but her current boyfriend, Kenneth Walker, thought someone was breaking into the home and fired one shot with a handgun, striking the officers in the leg. The three officers returned fire, shooting 32 bullets into the apartment. The original indictment alleged Hankerson had also violated Walker's civil rights, though Walker was removed from the charge at the beginning of the retrial. Now, the retrial marked the third trial for Hankerson following the initial mistrial as well as a state trial in 2022, in which he was acquitted of multiple wanton endangerment charges. Like in his previous trials, Hankerson took the stand during the retrial, getting emotional at times. Please pay attention. It's all faking crocodile tears, okay? Sorry for himself, clearly not for Breonna or what he'd done. Getting emotional at times over 2 days of testimony, according to WHAS, the ABC affiliate in Louisville, covering the case in the courtroom. Now, Hankerson told the jurors he was trying to stay alive and trying to keep my partners alive. Well, maybe y'all should not have come in there in the midst of the night with a fraudulent warrant, because did we forget that the warrant was in fact fraudulently obtained? Okay, and so anyway, so goes on to say Hankerson insisted the only person my bullet could have struck was the shooter, saying there was a zero risk of hitting anyone outside the threat. He said that night was the first time he fired his gun in nearly 20 years of policing. Yeah, right. Hankerson was fired from the Louisville Metro Police Department for violating department procedure when he wantonly and blindly fired into the apartment. The two other officers involved in the raid were not charged. Kentucky Attorney General Daniel Cameron called Breonna Taylor's death a tragedy, but said the two officers were justified in their use of force after having been fired upon by Walker. Please sit down somewhere, Daniel Cameron. At the end of the day, that's the man that's married to Mitch McConnell's granddaughter, okay? So we already know he's a whole raccoon. Now, today, Brett Hankerson was found guilty by a jury of his peers for willfully depriving Breonna Taylor of her constitutional rights. This is what Attorney General Merrick Garland said. His use of deadly force was unlawful and put Ms. Taylor in harm's way. This verdict is an important step toward accountability for the violation of Breonna Taylor's civil rights, but justice for the loss of Ms. Taylor is a task that exceeds human capacity. Saying that this defendant is being held accountable for his willful pop-ups. Okay, he's been held accountable for his willful and heinous use of deadly force that endangered the life of Breonna Taylor, said Assistant Attorney General Kristen Clark of the Justice Department's Civil Rights Division. Okay, Breonna Taylor's life mattered. We hope the jury's verdict, recognizing this violation of Ms. Taylor's civil and constitutional rights, brings some small measure of comfort to her family and loved ones who have suffered so deeply from the tragic events of March 2020. We hope that communities use this moment to say her name and to engrave on their hearts and minds Breonna Taylor's life and enduring legacy. The Justice Department will continue to vigorously defend the civil rights of every person in this country to be free from unlawful police violence. All right, and so please pay attention. Now, with that all been said, Rob, the only, I think that's Rod, the one and only, says, any way to access the hater song? Well, not right now, beloved, but I will, since you all are asking about it, I will put it on my streaming platform. I mean, not my streaming platform, but where all of my other songs are available for streaming, Amazon Music, Spotify, and all of that. There, you can find them on all streaming platforms. So I will be adding that one to the list, okay, since you all requested. Now, with that all being said, I find it all very interesting. At the end of the day, I mean, it has taken a long time to finally get just a small measure of justice, okay? How was there ever a mistrial in the first place? Okay, I mean, it was obvious that they were at fault. Now, before we roll up out of here, I want you all to hear this song that this young man wrote about Kabami. Okay, please pay attention.
So I decided I was going to start prosecuting parents for truancy. She had me arrested and prosecuted because my handicapped daughter was sick in the hospital.
Kamala, Kamala, I have a story to tell. Why you locked Sheree up and threw her in the cell? Her daughter has anemia, some call it sickle cell. She missed too many school days, so you locked her mom in jail. Kamala, I got a story to tell. Why you locked Sheree up? Her daughter wasn't feeling too well. She had sickle cell anemia. It attacks her red blood cells. When she was down sick in the hospital, you put her mom in jail. Single black mom in LA, struggling just trying to make it.
And we're gonna do it again in 2024.
Now you pandering for the black vote, so now you claim half Jamaican. You race flip for occasions. You say you were East Asian. You never cared about no America. You allowed this invasion. Kamala, Kamala, I have a story to tell. Why you locked Sheree up and threw her in the cell? Her daughter has anemia, some call it sickle cell. She missed too many school days, so you locked her mom in jail.
I want money.
You know what's funny? Kamala be loving the money. She was willing to lock up the parents they say for truancy, $30 per day.
I'm gonna start prosecuting parents for truancy.
Don't take my word, just ask Sheree. That's how schools in California get paid. Brought to you by the California DA, Miss Kamala.
They kept pressuring me to plead guilty and spend a year in jail.
Kamala, I have a story to tell. Why you locked Sheree up and threw her in the cell? Her daughter has anemia, some call it sickle cell. She missed too many school days, so you locked her mom in jail. Sheree had to fight till she was broke. Her little daughter Shayla had a stroke.
My hand is doing okay, I guess.
Kamala Harris ain't nothing but a joke. She locked the blacks over marijuana smoke. But let me get back to the details. Sheree spent 2 years fighting jail. She lost her job and got evicted. It's a true story, it ain't scripted. And the word that's around town, that laughing hyena got passed around. Come on, who's Mr. Willie Brown? You can go ask Judge Joe Brown. But back to my story.
I don't agree what my Kamala Harris did to my mom.
Shirley was traumatized. I seen the pain and hurt in her eyes. Kamala should apologize. Kamala, I have a story to tell. Why you locked Sheree up and threw her in the cell? Her daughter has anemia, some call it sickle cell. She missed too many school days, so you locked her mom in jail.
My homicide prosecutors said when you go over there, look really mean.
Kamala, I have a story to tell. Why you locked Sheree up and threw her in the cell? Her daughter has anemia, some call it sickle cell. She missed too many school days, so you locked her mom in jail.
The truancy program got a lot of criticism too. Did you actually lock anybody up?
No, we never locked anybody up. We did prosecute some cases, but far few, only about 20.
My message to all Americans, especially Black Americans, do not trust Kamala Harris.
Okay, so you all heard that. She's a whole liar. Absolutely. Okay, locked a vegan. Absolutely. And then talk about they didn't lock anybody up. Of course she did. That's why she made it a law. Okay, she was happy about it. She was thrilled. Okay, so please pay attention. And let's not forget all of those men, most of them Black, who she kept in prison long after their sentences were done. Why did she do it? You heard what she said on there. I wanted the money. That's Why? Because the private prisons, okay, they held those people in there longer than they were sentenced. That was Kamala. That's what she did. But she's going around to barbershops now trying to convince black men that she's the one they should vote for. Please sit down somewhere. Okay? Please sit down somewhere. Okay? That's right. Mission's Vision says she's the lock-up queen. She absolutely is. Okay, so with that all been said, I love you all to life. I hope you enjoy the rest of this beautiful day. Each one teach one. That's how we grow and thrive. Do something productive, constructive, but never destructive. And always remember, beloveds, to keep the Most High first in your lives. Peace.
Hey, yo, Nick, hit him with that flavor. All in my skin, God all in my blood. Kings all in my circle, you touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen, why you hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans? I got dreams like King Luther, shed blood like Kunta. You ain't helping my people, I ain't got nothing to say to ya. I want all the smoke like hookah. Talking reparations, America won't be great until they give us compensation. I'm like, I'm the hottest right now. That's See right. A bunch of lames out here trying to jock on my style. They be doing too much. I'm the queen, it's too easy. It's like they all at Popeyes, how they be talking so greasy. I just sit back and laugh while these haters get madder. So nefarious how they don't want my pockets with cheddar. I tell them they can do better. These snakes in the grass can leave a bite on your ass, cause y'all be trusting too fast. I got my foot on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threats. Running through every challenge like a relay, break no sweat. It's a cold game, so I got that blanket with me. Now that my people awaken, ain't no going to sleep. I do not play by my piece, this time I'm playing for keeps. You talking slick, but when I see you like them ends, we gon' meet. And I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood. Kings all in my circle, you touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen, why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood. Kings all in my circle, you touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen, why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got